What up, mongrels? Another day, another e-bike review, and today I have the Engwe L20 UK edition. What do you get with the Engwe L20? This is one of Engwe's most popular bikes. If you have a look at all the YouTube reviews, they've been around forever. They work really well at what they do. 20-inch wheels. You have got a 250 watt motor in the rear. Also has a little bit more than that. You have got a 48 volt 13 amp hour battery. They say that gives you a range of around about 44 miles. 7-speed Shimano Tawny gear set, metal pedals, detachable battery, flappy seat, 15 kilogram, is that 15? 25 kilogram rack on the back, brake light, metal mud guards. You've got a rack on the front. What does that give you? 13 kilos on the front. Very handy. Light on the front, metal mud guards, step-through frame. Whee! Very easy gear set. Half throttle that you can activate, deactivate if you want to be legal or unlegal. Very simple computer display thing. A bell, and it weighs in at 34 kilos. It is fairly heavy. You have got mechanical disc brakes front and rear. Always forget what size they are. They are 160. It does what it needs to do. Just get some of that out of there because I've been riding it off-road. Oh, it adds to it. Very usable bike. Gotta say, the metal pedals hold your feet really well. Lockable front suspension. The light can either be attached on the rack up here or down there. I'll show you a little bit later. I can imagine that getting clunked if you're going heavily off-road off of the frame, which is why they've put the mount in there. The lead is long enough to reach both. Gears work absolutely fine. I'll bring you in, I'll show you around, then I'll let you have a look at the ride footage, and we'll see what it's all about with my final thoughts at the end. How about that? So let's have a look from the cockpit. You've got your flappy paddle there for your wrists. You've got twist throttle there, half throttle, 7-speed Shimano Tawny. Press that to go up, press that to go down. Brake lever, BMX handlebars, which are really comfortable. Very easy to use display there. I've still got a sticker on it. So as you can see, I've done 24.4 miles. It says I'm on half battery there. It's probably down to 2 bars in all honesty. So their range may well be accurate. One thing that I do not like about it is here you have the buttons for going up and down your pedal assist. It's not very intuitive when you're riding, and I always found myself looking down to see them. They work, but they're just in a bit of a weird place. Bell there which works, more flappy paddles, more this and that. As you come down the front, as you can see, a nice sturdy rack there. You could probably sit a young midget in it. Am I allowed to say that word? I don't care. Light metal mud guards, 20-inch fat tyre wheels. As we come round, you can see the disc brakes, which are mechanical. Lockable suspension. You can see the extra cable you got there should you wish to move that. Slimline frame, metal pedals, removable battery, flappy paddle, gear set, Shimano Tawny, as most entry-level bikes are, with a 250 watt motor, metal pedals, brake light, and you have your rack at the back. Oh yeah, side stand. Always need a side stand. As with all Engwe products that I've tested, and I've tested a fair few, I've been impressed by the quality that comes out. The bike does exactly what you expect it to do on the road. It is a hardtail, no rear suspension, but you have got those fat tyres that do take some of the pressure from your monkey stump. It's got a nice plush saddle, and I've got to say, that's actually worked rather well. It surprised me. I'm not in absolute agony. I do know I've ridden a bike. Bike seats are spawned from the devil himself. I would say that I've got this on its highest extension currently, so as you can see, I am on tiptoes. When you're pedaling, it doesn't offer full leg extension. I'm 5'9" and a fag butt, 5'10" on a good day. Judge yourself. I've got quite long legs. Yeah, I'd like a bit more seat height and maybe be able to bring that handlebar up a bit. Absolutely comfortable for ride for someone like me. If you're much taller, you'll still be able to ride it. Just bear in mind, you're not going to be getting the leg extension that you may be used to. The step-through frame obviously makes it easy to mount and dismount. You're never going to crack your spuds getting on and off the bike. The welds, I'll always mention the welds. The vast majority of these Engwe are very agricultural in their welds. Nothing wrong with them. They seem strong enough. I've yet to have a problem with any of the bikes. Some of the bikes they make are absolutely smooth, like a dolphin. But yeah, this one has got the welds. Got mounts there if you want to put your bottles or stuff on it. Plenty of carrying capacity. As I said when I walked you around, these buttons are in a bit of a weird place. Minor thing, to be honest with you. It is very much a classic style of bike, with the exception of the fat tyres. Does make you look a bit of a Doris. If you are a hardened, rugged man like myself, is this the bike for you? Certainly enough to go wild camping, bike packing, you can certainly do it. Obviously the range, the more kit you add on, the range is going to go down, so you probably wouldn't want to go more than 15 mile away from home each way. It's doable. Cycling it as a bike, no power assist, you'll see. It's in the video and I'll explain after. Have a look at me riding the bleeding thing. So as usual, we will see what it pedals like as a push bike. Pulling away in second gear, 2 of 8. No real problem. You can feel the rolling resistance of the fat tyres, but you're bound to. Just change up. Currently pootling along at 11 mile an hour. Gear 4. Gear 5. No real problems. You can definitely feel the rolling resistance. And up to 7. Doing 16 miles an hour. Can sort of feel it in my legs. There is a little bit of resistance, but perfectly usable. If your battery runs out and you need to cycle home, certainly manoeuvrable enough. Nice upright seating position. I have got the seat at its fullest extension. I'm 5'9" and a fag butt, short in trunk, long in leg, and ideally I would like more leg extension. Right. Brakes work, no biggie there at all. I can see it being a bit of an effort going up the hills, but you have got 7 gears to cycle through to make it that bit easier. It's obviously a hardtail bike, so you'll be glad of the fat tyres to offer you a bit of suspension in the rear. Still get the road noise from the fat tyres, obviously. But yeah, I wouldn't personally want to cycle this too long without any motor. Purely because of leg extension and the fat tyres. So I'm sitting in 7th gear, and yeah, you're going to get about... It's too fast for me to pedal and hold up at the moment at 25 miles an hour. It is a strictly UK legal bike with a 250 watt motor, governed to all the regulations, which of course you can unlock quite easily. It comes with a separate throttle that you can put on to make it a twist and go. So as usual, I'm coming to my first 10% hill of the day. I'm in top gear, pedal assist 3. These bikes have historically been known as hill climbers. Doing 18 miles an hour. This is unlocked. That was close. Crank it up to 4, crank it up to 5. Go down into 5th gear. Yeah, zero effort on your legs. You do need to cycle through the gears. Even pulling away from the start, a little blip of that illegal throttle and you're away. Now let's see how sturdy she feels under speed. I'm over 30 miles an hour, and as usual with all these Engwe bikes, zero problem, as sturdy as you like. Certainly feels manoeuvrable enough. Just a comfortable place to be. Shame about the leg extension. The seat height currently isn't a problem. Would like it to go higher. All it means is that you start nudging your feet further forward on the pedals, which I don't like. I like to be on the balls of my feet, which is just a personal thing to me. But going up this hill now, 23 miles an hour, probably about a 5% increasing to a 10%. In gear, pedal assist number 5. And yeah, it's pulling me up no problem at all. So this is a version of this bike made for the EU market. Previous versions used to kick out, I believe, 750 watt in the motor. And obviously hills and that were zero issue for it. I tested out the SE, which is a folding lighter version of this, slightly smaller wheels, slightly thinner tyres, and it done absolutely admirably. Yeah, range and that you got was superb. The ride for an everyday commuter, not wanting to hoon around left, right and centre, was excellent. Then they obviously brought out the UK version of the normal L20, which is this. I've got high hopes. It's certainly comfortable enough. And as you can see here, just normal everyday hills, straight up. We'll go through the kissing gate, try not to kill my camera. Oh, bit slippery. Zero problem, quick twist of the throttle. In fact, let's see how long that takes to kick in. 1.5, 2 seconds. Obviously it's the amount of revolutions you do, so if you're going quicker, it'll kick in quicker. A little bit bumpy along here. Nothing to complain about with the saddlers yet. I haven't gone very far, and we all know what I think about saddles. But for cruising bike paths and looking inoffensive, it does look like an inoffensive bike, despite the fat tyres. Steady 15 miles an hour, zero effort. What's not to like? What is not to like? So here we are on a bit of gravelly stuff, a bit more bumpy. Again, the fat tyres are doing a pretty good job at the rear. Has got suspension at the front. It's going to be very wet and slippery around here, so you might see me go for a burn. It's a bike that promotes a leisurely cycle. Unlike some of the other ones I've tested, which are quick, powerful, they sort of want you to hoon down everywhere. This is very much a sit back, chill, enjoy the ride. The addition of, go up here, no problem. Right, where am I going here? The addition of the racks front and rear is a great idea. Thank you, mate. And for once I'm not wearing a backpack as I'm riding. And as you can see, the bell is effective but not offensive. Very slippery stuff. See if the mud guards work. Yeah, no problem at all. Metal mud guards on the front. It is very greasy under wheel. It's handling this, zero issues. With the racks front and rear, if you did want to do a bit of bike packing on it, I can't see it being an issue. It's certainly going to handle some rougher ground, no problem, but do bear in mind there's no rear suspension. Pedals are metal, no problem moving around on them, they're fairly spiked. Non-folding, because it's a non-folding bike. Yeah, I'm cruising along, pedal assist too, a little bit of assistance. The world is a beautiful place. Here we come down the rooty, bumpy cycle path. This will test out the cushioning to my monkey stump. Beautiful day. Again, not hooning, currently doing 16 miles an hour. Front suspension's working. And as yet, just try and hit a few bumps. Like that one. It's not too bad on the rear. There's just enough give. Obviously, you could add a thingy seat post, suspension seat post. But where the seat flips up to allow you access to the battery, that could create a few problems. You might have to take your seat post out every time. But compared to some of the others that have been hardtails, it's all right. It's all right. One thing I don't like about it is the controller. The buttons to go up and down on the pedal assist are at the bottom left-hand side of the control, and they're not intuitive to know where to press. Normally you have buttons up the top of the handlebars, nice and easy. With these, they're small buttons on the bottom of the thing. Yeah, a minor thing, but a thing nonetheless. Another thing with these bikes that I always complain about, complain's a heavy term, mention, is the brakes again are the wrong way round. Talking of brakes, let's get up to about 15 mile an hour and hammer on. They definitely work. The good thing with these as well is they actually sent a spare set of brake pads for me. Thank you, mate. Which is good. Either that or they sent the brake pads and I ain't put them in. But if I ain't put them in, it's still stopping. Fit and finish of this bike. Again, they've gone back to their agricultural type welds. Nothing wrong with them. You can just see the welds. They're all painted over. They're not abysmal by any stretch of the imagination. It's just not smooth like the last one I tested. Thank you. As you can see, it's a step-through design. So, it's not a negative, it is the design of the bike, but you do look like a Doris driving it. But a Doris with power. Power between your legs. There's plenty of them in this day and age. That throttle's a bonus when you're pulling away in top gear. Thank you very much. Noise coming off the engine. It's comparable to the noise coming off the tyres. So again, not too loud. You can definitely hear when it's engaged and when it's not. But, yeah, it's just... Sorry, mate. Oh, mate. You can definitely hear when it's engaged and when it's not. But it isn't annoying. See what the lights do. Lights work. Not a problem. At the back, yep. Turn them off. Again, just the positioning of the button. Very comfy ride, gotta say. Definitely manoeuvrable enough. If you want a commuter, want a day-to-day ride, that you can crank up if you want to. Forgive the squeaking, brakes ain't bed in, obviously. I've literally pulled it out of the box and ridden it. It is just a shame that with the gearing and everything it's got on the fat tyres, like many of the other bikes I've tried, it almost makes that throttle necessary. And with it being illegal, I mean, that's something for the UK government to sort out, and I'm glad Engwe have supplied it. I can't see you getting a tug on this bike, but if they did, you could be in bother. Right, tight right angle here to go across the bridge. It does say dismount. If there are people coming, then I will. There are not people coming. Will I knock my camera? Let's hope not. No problem at all. Just let me know I'm coming round. Very manoeuvrable. At slow speed, at high speed, whatever you need. So here we come into the gravelly, bumpy, long cycle path section. Should be boggy and windy. Should be boggy and wet as well because we've had rain for days. And currently, zero problems. It appears I've lost my first bar after 10.8 miles. I can't remember what range it says, but they normally say about 50 on this size of battery. I'll tell you at the beginning, or I've told you in the beginning, if I get 30 out of it, it means it's a usable bike in real world usage. I mean, obviously, if you're cranking about on the throttle at top speed unrestricted, you're more likely to get 15, 20. With this sort of terrain, these sort of speeds, pootling along, preserving my hoop, I'm enjoying this bike. Yep, that worked well. Double check, a little bit of splash, but you got to. Definitely more suited for the female audience, I'd say, although perfectly rideable for an average-sized man. What I will say about these Engwe bikes, I have tested more of these than any other bike. And I've been impressed every time I've ridden one for the way they operate, the quality control and stuff like that. Now, there may be people out there that have had issues. I'm not saying that you're not going to have issues. Obviously, that'd be a lunatic thing to say. But, personally, if I was going to go out and spend my hard-earned cash on a brand of bike, I would see what type of bike I wanted, and I would see if Engwe do one in that style. They're good value. They do some higher end bikes. They do some budget bikes. But they all seem to work. I wish they'd done more torque sensor over cadence sensor. They do some. Purely because I find it a much better bike to ride. This again is a cadence sensor. Won't go through my usual spiel, but as you know, I prefer the torque. This does what it's meant to do. You're looking at this video, looking at a cadence sensor bike. So, it is what it is. I just like a little bit more control. Cuts off as soon as you pull your brakes. Good safety feature. You've got your brake lights, obviously. And I do sort of prefer the bell over the horn. So we're coming up to the boggy, muddy section. A little bit cobbly. Gets very slippery. They have done a lot of work down here and made it better. But I always go the cobble way because it is a little bit more slippery and undulating, just to see how the tyres and everything hold. And as you would expect with these big fat tyres, zero problem. Through the moss, through the grass, through the mud. No issue. They are chunky, but they've not got masses of tread on them. So if you have got slippery mud underneath you, you still could go wrong. So it's saying I'm 12.5 miles in. I'm not entirely sure on that. That might be incorrect. Find out at the end of the trip. I'm starting to feel it a little bit on my seat bones, me crack, me hooper dupe, me bunghole, whatever you want to call it. And there's horse. But it's not brutal. Not brutal in the slightest. Okay. Don't like horses. They know stuff. They're like sheep. Passing on your right. Thank you. So we're now entering a bit that gets very potholy, very bumpy, loose gravel underneath. If anything's going to torture me, this bit of road will. Let's go through a couple of them while sitting. Yeah, these fat tyres do a fantastic job in the absence of suspension. I know I've said it a few times, I'm repeating myself, but it's true. It's enabling me to whiz through here at 17 miles an hour without worrying about it. Taking corners on gravelly stuff, not an issue. Not an issue at all. I like it. I like it the back. Would definitely give the, oh, that was a big one. Oh, it entered me. I would definitely give the seat a higher extension. Definitely. Because if my short ass requires it, then taller people certainly will. I really do think, though, this is geared towards the lady rider. Absolutely rideable by a bloke. This is one of Engwe's most popular models, or at least the L20. Don't know about the 250 version like this is. I've got a sneaking suspicion the motor's a bit more than 250. So when you do unlock it and crank it up, it does give you quite a bit. And it's very easy to see why. The usability of it and versatility of it, it ticks a lot of boxes. You could definitely ride it for a long time. Everything is comfortable, the gearing works. Again, I'd like a higher gear, top end, just so you can pedal a little bit faster, should you need it. Obviously, a suspension seat post would be a great addition, but it climbs hills, it handles the rough stuff. I'll move over. It really is a very usable bike. You can carry stuff on it. It's easy to see. Oh, the price as well. The price is definitely entry level. Don't get me wrong, it uses entry level stuff like the Shimano Tawny system. It's got cable operated disc brakes, which is fine. So it may not have the most expensive components on it, but the components it has works, which in turn gives you an affordable bike. And as I've said previously, probably about a minute ago, I've been impressed. Well, one, Engwe have always responded to my emails when we're discussing the bikes. If I had issues, which I've caused, they've always got back to me and pointed me in the right direction. So I can't really argue with Engwe. I haven't had a bike that I haven't liked. Ranging from tiny little fold-ups to all singing, all dancing, 3-point suspension beasts of bikes that'll do 32 mile an hour, down to a fat tyre happy shopper like this that you can go forever and a day riding. I have lost 2 bars of battery. Just noticed you can scroll through the information on the computer, giving you your mile an hour, distance travelled, top speed, average, and all that jazz. It's good. Still got small buttons. You've still got to look at it to navigate. Every time I've changed the pedal assist on this, I have looked down to make sure I'm pushing the right button. Does not feel intuitive at all, but I'm loving that bell. Isn't it weird? The smallest things. The bell is one of the best things on this bike. So I've just dragged out my GPS speedo from my pocket, because when this is giving me a reading like now, 15 miles an hour, it does not feel like I'm doing 15 miles an hour. And just like the distance on the screen, it doesn't feel like I've ridden that sort of distance. Now bear in mind, I ride this track a fair few times a month, testing out these bikes. I should really know the distances. I don't pay a lot of attention, if I'm brutally honest. The speed was registering within half a mile an hour of the speed on my automatic speedo. So what I've done, I've let it run now, and we will see the difference between what distance I've covered from the point of turning it on to the distance it says I've covered from the point of turning it on, and see how it correlates. Because at the moment we're approaching 17 miles, and I'm even going to have to give it a little bit of credit for the saddle. I don't feel violated. Gravity's taken effect, but I don't feel violated. And I hate bike seats. Thank you. Again, turning into an Engwe shill, but the bike gets a thumbs up. Wet, eh? Will it conk out? Yeah, mudguards are doing okay. I think my nuts are getting a bit wet. That's mainly because of the size of them, because I'm all man. Bike is filthy. Wife's gonna love me when I get back. Ain't died. I mean, look at all that flooding. We've had some rain. That was a field. So we are 20 miles in. I've transported to America. Let's see what it does. Throttle alone, top speed, pedal assist 5. 18, 20, 22, slight incline. 23, just nipped on 24 then. Ain't bad for a 250 watt motor, is it? So, god damn, that ain't bad for one 250 watt motor. Mary Jane, get off my pig, bitch. Do like it here in the States. Let's go back to UK. Woo. Right, it's got about 5 miles till I get home. Got about half a battery. Let's make it work for a bit, shall we? Just pedalling here. 24 mile an hour. As I say, I'm on my limit of what I'd want to pedal. But it's coping fine. Obviously, it is unlocked. This will obviously eat the battery a lot more. But I was informed by my American cousin that 24 mile an hour comfortably pedalling on level assist 5 is achievable. I have no reason to disbelieve him, because he has my face. So here we are, coming into the final bit of the test. Final long hill climbing up to about a 12-13%, I would imagine. And then a final little off-road. I won't bring you all the way up this hill because it does go on quite a way. But one thing I will say, still only in pedal assist 3, probably about 7-8%. Bringing me up here absolutely fine. The steeper the hill gets, you definitely need to put a little bit more effort in on your legs. Having said that, I'm still in 7th gear. Starting to feel it a little bit now. Crank down. Yeah, it'll absolutely get you up the vast majority of hills, even if you are putting in a bit of work yourself. All right. And that is coming from the Isle of Wight's premium e-bike reviewer. Hi. I'm not sure if you know this, but I'm kind of a big deal. What a dick. So yeah, this is definitely not an off-road bike. It's a hardtail. I'm expecting the back end to jump around a bit. Let's see how we go. Hopefully I don't stack it. You never know if there's anyone coming around that corner. There is horse crap galore. Chalk where it's been raining is going to be slippery, and there's someone. Anyway, it's still bumpy. And this last bit, no, I'm not going to get the speed. It's handling fine. As you can see, yeah, no with it. Shame I didn't get to hit it full speed. Obviously, it handles absolutely fast. Go for a bit of the thicker stuff. What are you doing? No problem at all. No problem at all. So then, what are my final thoughts on this bike? I've got to say, Engwe have smashed it again. I've done just shy of 25 miles, got 2 bars of battery left. My hooper dupe is still intact, despite being on a bike seat with no suspension. I can feel it, but I don't feel violated. Pedals held my feet absolutely fine. Once it's cranked up, according to my American cousin, yeah, you know, you're sitting there at 24, 25 mile an hour if you wish to, pedaling or on throttle alone. Obviously, that's going to eat your battery. The fact that you can carry kit on it and actually do a bit of bike packing, that I really like that front rack. Is absolutely fine. Would like more leg extension, and I would like to be able to raise the seat higher for taller riders. Same with the handlebars. You could definitely get away with it if you was up to about 6'2", but just bear in mind you're not going to have your legs stretching out as you ride it. It's perfectly rideable. You're not kicking the front wheel. You're not kicking anything. The motor, 250 watt motor. It's probably a bigger motor, to be honest with you. It comes set to legal UK standards. With the twist throttle, it's only at walking pace. You can unlock it. Go find the video yourself. I'm not going to teach you how to break the law. Brakes work absolutely fine. Gears work absolutely fine. 7-speed Shimano Tawny, just like most entry-level e-bikes. Cycled through, not a problem. Front suspension, done a job. It really has been an effortless ride. It genuinely has. Every time I say that at the end of these things. With this, I thought I was going slower than what the speedo was telling me until I checked it with the GPS. Also with the GPS, it does say that I have done the distance that this bike says, which is 24.4 miles here, which is good because on the last couple of e-bike reviews I've done, I've got to this point, it said I'd only done 20 miles and it's always been a 25-mile route. That I don't understand. Still got a couple of miles to get back home. The weight of it, quite a heavy little beast, but it is inoffensive looking. It's not aggressive. You're less likely to get tugged by the old bill should you crank it up. Not that I'm telling you to crank it up. Wheels do a great job of offering you some sort of dampening to the wrecker. Yeah, battery's very easy to take off. And another thing I really do like about it is you need to have a key to start it. saves people nicking your bike. You can whip the battery out to charge. Pedals held me feet, I've probably already said that, absolutely fine. Negatives would be the leg extension. I'm pretty sure that that is going to get clunked should that go down too far and you bottom out. You can mount it up there, not an issue. Suspension seat post on this would absolutely transform it. Mentioned in the intro about the welds. There's nothing wrong with them. You can just see it's welded. The style of the bike, I don't mind at all. You know, some people say you're a bit of a Jessie for riding it. You take a look at me. I'm obviously all man. I don't care what the cats say. I'm down with the kids. I ain't saying that. All in all, another impressive bike from Engwe. Brake lights, mechanical disc brakes, all do their job. It does its job. It really does do its job. Manoeuvrable enough. Yeah, spot on. Links and all that sort of jazz below. I can see why it's one of their most popular vehicles. Bikes. Real good bit of kit. Anyway, until next time, ta-ra.